Thanks to our friend, New Yorker Spike Lee, for his voice in our Open tonight. The entire tri-state area was dramatically affected by Hurricane Sandy, but many have found their way to Madison Square Garden as the New York Knicks open the season by playing host to LeBron James and the world champion Miami Heat. We all believe the tri-state area will come back with great resolve and will wind up being better than ever.
Michael, relief efforts ongoing. So many still devastated by the effects of the storm. The recovery, as you can see, is going to be a long and difficult road. But already we've seen the spirit, the grit, and the resiliency of New York. Like we see throughout our country, every time Americans are faced with adversity, people are banding together, supporting each other. There have been inspiring stories, heartwarming stories. And that leads us tonight here to Madison Square Garden, where they will play basketball. Opening night for the Knicks in the 2012-2013 season.
Same way. And look at the king, LeBron James, in MSG. With the Beats by Dre headphones.
Got the pea coat. Is it cold in New York again? I guess it is.
Pea coat?
You know, it's about his flavor.
I put a lot of thought in my post-game outfit certain nights. Some nights I just come and I just grab something and I roll, but sometimes I want to make a little statement and I want to do something and kind of get the conversation on basketball as much.
Start off this interview by saying I know they're killing me in the studio with my pants. They're just mad that they can't pull it off.
I'm not really the big fashion guy yet, so I don't really put too much thought into my post-game outfits.
It's not what's on the person, it's the person that's wearing them. So, you know, fashion is fashion, and however you make it work.
With this team, you have to put in a lot of thought. Now, sometimes you got to push the envelope a little bit, but you stay with it. And, you know, it's just like when I was growing up, you get made fun of for your gear, you know, if you wear it wrong. So I think about that before I walk out the house.
And I love D-Wade's style, but those salmon pants, that's a find. I'm just saying, as he gets ready. I like his fade, too, a 90s R&B look.
It's coming back.
It's the mecca of basketball. If you don't get excited to go into that arena and play, then you know, your basketball Jones or whatever, your basketball sales are not flowing anymore.
It's the Garden, you know, it just has that magical feel to it. Because of the history that it has, because of, you know, so many players that have played there. Not only players, but performers as well. You know, it just has that Broadway feel to it.
You feel like you're on Broadway when the lights are dim around the bulb, but on the floor, you feel like you're on stage. And you know you're in New York.
Madison Square Garden, that's my favorite place to play. I mean, you know, the atmosphere is, if you're doing well, it's quiet. But if you're not, they're gonna be loud, you know, and they're gonna be at you. But it's just something about when you walk in, you want a moment, you want a special moment in the Garden. You know, that's what you shoot for.
Well, they often say the darkest times for many turn into their shining moments as this city and tri-state area continues to rally together and recover, although still a long, long road ahead after the devastating storm. As we welcome you back to Madison Square Garden, opening night for the 2012-2013 New York Knicks. They were scheduled to open last night in Brooklyn against the Nets. That was postponed to later this month, but they will begin tonight against the Miami Heat. As Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and the defending champs will play their second game of the season and their first one on the road. Along with Jeff Van Gundy and Doris Burke, Mike Breen on hand, and a raucous crowd after, again, that stirring rendition of the national anthem. And it looks like there isn't an empty seat in the place. There's the Knicks with high expectations, and as you saw there, a number of new faces, older faces.
Yeah, they're new faces. They're wrinkled faces.
But they are veteran faces, including Jason Kidd, who's going to be 40 years old in March. They also have the oldest player in the NBA in Kurt Thomas. Throw in Marcus Camby and a few others, and it's the oldest team in the NBA. But they have high expectations. And, Jeff, you always talk about, for a team, the first thing that has to happen for them, they have to believe that they can win. This team really thinks they can be elite in the NBA.
Well, you look at their team as constructed. The questions are not in the front court. Versatility because of his size. He can rebound. He's got strength. He can guard multiple positions. He's better right now against bigger players as James takes it to the rim versus the jet quick point guard. Incredible, because early in his career, he had what could have been career-ending foot problems as LeBron James hits Bosh on the roll to the rim. You play that small unit.
Harden rockets off to a good start. Meanwhile, great hookup, Kidd and Chandler. They did that quite a bit back in 2011. Remember the champion Mavericks that year. Wade, nice move.
Yeah, you ain't got to do nothing, but just be here, then you get right back to him. You ain't got to do nothing. Not all the way, just enough where he know not you can't drive in that gap. Okay, hey, if he jump back in you, screen him over the top a little bit. Turn your screen a little bit. If he jump back in you, and I'm going to go over the top. We going to grind it. That's what we do. We going to grind it. Come on, man.
Hard to believe it's his 10th year in the league now, and he's got himself a second championship ring.
Man, I like those microphone things. You get some good stuff off that.
Would you repeat the Bombers can't connect? Brewer outlet Anthony, one man to beat, and LeBron James defends it beautifully. Anthony thought there was a foul. That one man to beat for his head.
But you never saw any difference, and I think that's why the players had such great respect for him. He stayed the course throughout all the ups and downs. Nice pass from Chalmers to a cutting James. And that's what I admire.
Space, tough shot won't go. Smith has been off most of the night. 3 for 10, and Wade gets inside easily, and it's a 13-point game.
You can't give up.
Copeland misses his first NBA attempt, and that'll do it. A 20-point win by the Knicks as they hit 19 three-pointers, led by Carmelo Anthony's 30 points. Well, those numbers for naught for Miami as they fall to 1-1 on the season. And the Knicks 1-0. Jason Kidd, part of 27 assists for the Knicks. So as impressive as the Heat were in their first game against Boston, the Knicks, well, Anthony and the Knicks, an impressive victory over the Miami Heat, a 20-point beating here at Madison Square Garden. Final score 104-84. Clippers and Lakers coming up next from Staples Center. Right now, though, we head back to the studio. Michael Wilbon.